Now, from the foot of the picturesque Canadian Rockies and Banff Springs Golf Course, this is EA Sports coverage of PGA Tour golf. Alongside Frank Novelo, I'm Rich Lerner, and partner, you and I have called a lot of rounds of golf through the years. I know there's always something that piques your interest. How about today?
Rich, every day brings you a chance to do something special. And when we get to sit in this perch, that's what I look for. And I don't want to see the head going down. I want to see that every single shot is a chance to do something special. That could be a chip. Maybe the chip goes in. Maybe it's a 30-footer that goes in. Maybe a drive gets rifled down the fairway. Do something special.
And that will end up in the short grass, left side, so a very nice drive there to kick off the round. So he'll come at it from the left side of the fairway as he gets set now for his second shot.
In golf, you know, you've heard the term mulligan. You'd love that, a do-over there, wouldn't you? I mean, that's just, that's very poor from that range.
Iona Stephen is at the first green. This for birdie.
Yeah, Rich, this is one definitely to take a run at. Not much movement or slope to speak of at all.
Ooh, good speed there. That'll leave just a couple of feet. So from the fairway to the green, 2 putts and in. That's a good, solid par here at first. Frank, it's always nice to begin a round with a little variety. We had a relatively short par 4 opening hole and now a par 3 to back it up.
You can see why short iron play is going to be paramount today, Rich. Short iron into the first hole and a chance here to hit another short iron into a short par 3. So you can get off to a very fast start.
Oh, that is just a dart. Beautiful shot there. Puts that to about 3 feet. Let's see if he can knock this in. It's for birdie. Yep, that's a good putt and a good birdie here at the second to get him to 1 under par. Frank, plenty of scoring opportunities in the early portion of this golf course. We're now at a par 5, the third hole, and it's only 528 yards.
You can see why we're going to see a lot of people perhaps being 3 under through the first 3 holes, Rich. This par 5 bending to the right, very reachable. And just keep that tee shot nice and high off the tee. Let it carry as far as possible.
All right, in the fairway. Frank, chance to go for the green in two here at the third?
There is, but you can also use the terrain, which will kick the ball towards the left. So if you haven't hit the best of tee shots, still land that ball to the right and let it feed on.
That is not the spot to be. This a little under 10 feet for birdie. Oh, right by the hole. The longer putts, you don't mind as much. The short ones, they tend to sting. That so nearly a birdie, but par is all he'll have to show for it. Well, look at this hole, Frank. A par 3, 192 yards. It is beautiful.
It's called Devil's Cauldron, but with that lake, I think that should cool you down, not heat you up. Just keep an eye on that drop of elevation. For every 10 yards, you should reduce it by a club. So it's going to play some 50, 60 feet downhill.
That one going to wind up smack dab in the middle of the green. Substantial movement on this putt right to left, and it's from distance. So this one not just about speed, but line as well. Nah, that's a little timid, maybe a shake of the head there. That needed a bit more. Nah, that was right all the way. Okay, no problem with that one. Well, again, Frank, we get that good mix of holes here. We've had a couple of par 3s, a short par 5, and that opening par 4. Now at the fifth hole, 424-yard par 4.
The first bunker on the right, not really in play for the good players. Just be a little cognizant of that one on the left side, depending on what club you want to hit off the tee. Ideally, that line is the third bunker, the one in the distance. That's a good line off the tee here.
Solid, a good drive in the fairway. So, Iona, this his second from the fairway.
136 is the number, and that pin, well, it's back left today.
I like the looks of this one.
Well, it's a decent-sized green. It's not bad, just a little past the hole.
Yes, very well read. To 100 now for the day. Frank, you played at the highest level all over the world. What was a comfortable yardage for you on holes like this?
I actually had a club, believe it or not, that just the grooves on it, it would go 105 yards. It was a lofted sand iron, whether it was out of the first cut or rough or the fairway. So if I could hit it around 100 yards, I could almost hit that distance with my eyes closed. After that, 70 yards was the next one. So everybody has that little sort of sweet spot with the wedge.
So that means on a hole like this, you were looking for something off the tee in the 265 to 270 range, and that would put what club in your hand?
Just in those days, it was a 53-degree sand iron, yeah.
As picturesque as they come, that is right down the middle. So not a whole lot left to go here as he'll set up his second to this par 4. Okay, that's acceptable there. This will be a 14-foot putt here. I'd call that so-so. I think you'd hope to get that a little closer. Disappointment there. He'll brush it in, and that'll be just a par. Well, Frank, how about this hole? 602 yards, a par 5. Although I guess I shouldn't be that surprised. It's 602 yards these days for a long hitter.
What do you say? It's a drive and a 7 iron?
That's a mid-range par 5.
Well, yeah, 2 woods. The longer hitters will definitely get at home there, especially in good conditions. But bunker down the left, avoid that, carry that, and then we can think about the second shot.
Yeah, that's a nice swing, and the result is going to be a tee shot that is set up just fine. Had the distance right, just a tad offline. How about the chances for getting it up and down from that spot?
Yeah, it's not in that thick stuff, Rich, so that's advantage number 1. Really, the lie's pretty good. I think it's a standard pitch.
This now 7 feet for his birdie. Not a problem. That's in for birdie, and that score moves to 2 under par. Frank, you like this kind of design feature where you go from the longest hole in the course immediately to the shortest hole.
Certainly, golf giveth and golf taketh away. This is just minimally uphill, just a couple of feet, but you can see from the overview the design of the green. When that flag's on the right, it's a little bit of a longer carry, so just be a little cognizant of that. You don't have to hit it directly at the flag.
Okay, not taking any chances there. A good, safe play in the middle portion of the green. 14 feet to the hole. Got it there, but not quite on target. That's so nearly a birdie, but par is all he'll have to show for it. So we'll round out the front side here at Banff Springs with a par 5 and reasonably short at only 501 yards.
So very reachable because of that yardage that you just referenced. Hole bends a little bit to the right. You can favor the left side with a tee shot. It's just going to make that angle on the second a little bit easier.
This started toward the left side. Well, not this time. That one's in the rough. Might be a tough shot coming up. Really hit that second shot on the button to this par 5, but Frank couldn't get it to stop.
Yeah, too good, too long, sadly.
Okay, a good out, and that's what will remain for birdie. This would be a good way to finish off the front side. Nah, missed it left. That's a letdown. Okay, that's in for his par here at the 9th. And he'll go out in 34, 2 under par for this front side. Rich Lerner alongside Frank Nobilo for EA Sports. And we are back on this beautiful day here at Banff Springs in the Canadian Rockies. Set to kick off all the action on the back 9. The 10th begin with a par 3, Frank, 218 yards.
And I have no idea why this is called Little Bow, because over 200 yards, you really have to bow up with this tee shot here. That's for sure. Bending there, you need something that comes out of the gate very, very straight and with a decent height on it as well. If you want to land on that left side of the green and make it stop.
And that's certainly not what you have in mind standing on the tee box. That never had a chance of hitting the green. This will test the skill set here. It's his second. Disappointment there. He'll brush it in, and that'll be just a par. Now to the 11th hole. It's a par 4, 417 yards. Frank, what's the key here?
A nice little draw down that left side would be the ideal tee shot. The carry on the 2 little bunkers down the left side really isn't overly long, but that's the desired entry into this green.
And this, a tee shot that fits the eye, and that'll be just fine. Frank, what do you want to do with this second shot here at the 11th?
Just a scoring club again, Rich. This is a chance to get off to a good start on that on the homeward 9. Anytime you get sort of 8 iron down, you can virtually go straight at the flag because this green pitches back towards the player. And a good approach shot, just not quite as close as what you'd like, but still solid.
Well, Ionis had a good look. Now this for birdie.
Well, you're going to have to trust the read here and start this ball far enough out to the left, because it's going to work all the way back to the right before it straightens out towards the hole.
Okay, I'd call that an acceptable effort from that range. That, so nearly a birdie, but par is all he'll have to show for it. Frank, what are we looking at here at the par 4 12, 442 yards?
Players are really focused on that bunker down the left side. That's the one that has to be either laid up, which would be 286 yards off the tee, or sort of worked off. This could very well be a 3-wood off the tee. Just hit it straight at that left bunker. Another great tee shot. By my count, only missed one fairway today, so that's 7 of 8. Easy to see that's the best way to play this golf course.
Walking the course today, let's bring in Nota Begay III.
107 yards to the front of the green, 141 to the hole, pin sitting in the back left portion of the green.
Oh, this is straight at it.
It's a really good line.
Now, that's an excellent shot. Inside that 10 feet circle, a little long, a little left, but still good.
6 feet now for birdie. Yes, a good look at that one all the way in. It's a birdie to push that score to 3 under for the round. Well, this is a good hole right here. Par 3, 225-yard 13th. Frank, what do you think?
Well, it's called sulfur. I can't remember what element that is on a periodic table, but the hardest thing here is not to figure that out, but figure out what club you're going to use. Just a fraction downhill, just over 200 yards. It does narrow up when they start to stick the flag in the back, but there's a nice fat target there, sort of those first 2/3 of the green.
Oh, dear, that looks thick in there. Now, from an awkward lie, a second to the par 3. Well, obviously that's not his best, but it'll be quickly forgotten, Frank, if he's able to get out of here with his par.
Well, you might forget it. I won't. Far from his best.
Oh, that is right on the precipice of going down. But I do believe it's going to stay out. Such a simple-looking hole, this par 3 13th. Had to be thinking 3, maybe 2. Who knows? Maybe an ace. Certainly didn't consider the possibility of a bogey, and that's what he walks off with. Frank, this par 4 14th hole at about 440 yards will test you all the way up to that green, won't it?
Yeah, it certainly will. It just looks like you should bash it over those bunkers down the left side, but the green pitches from left to right, so the best access is actually down the right side, coming in from that sort of right line. So don't be fooled here.
Yeah, all about hitting the fairway here, and that is right where you want to be. Perfect spot to play this second, middle of the fairway.
Oh, nothing wrong with that iron shot. It's a good one. Just a little short, little right, but still a very good place to putt from.
Shouldn't be much in this for birdie. Yes, very methodically done, and that one in for a birdie. Now to the 15th tee, and Frank, this looks like a fun shot to hit.
It won't play its full yardage because of that elevated tee, but a good one out here. We might see one of those 350, 360 plus yard drives.
Gonna work this up that left-hand side. It all looks so simple when you're going good, doesn't it? And that is yet another solid drive. From the fairway, Iona, this is second.
Yeah, the pin, 136 is the number we're looking for. Pin front left so he can take dead aim.
Nice approach shot, and the other good thing about that, left it below the hole.
13 feet away. Yeah, not quite enough pace, but that's pretty good. Disappointment there. He'll brush it in, and that'll be just a par. Moving on to number 16 now. It's a par 4, 414 yards. And Frank, what are we looking at here?
It's another hole that'll favor a nice sort of high draw off the tee. It'll set up that second shot to a green that has got several different levels on it. Too strong for this hole, eh? Ran out of fairway and into the rough. Big hit, though. And that's a good approach shot, too. Just a little left of the hole, but a good chance for birdie.
Nope. That's so nearly a birdie, but par is all he'll have to show for it. Frank, as we make our way to the house, a chance here at the 17th, just 374 yards, a chance for a birdie.
It certainly is. Anytime you see a hole today under 400 yards of par 4, that is, you know you're going to get a short on your eye. You know you're going to get a short iron in your hand if you hit a good tee shot. Just avoid the bunkers left and right off the tee. Green does slope back to front, so it pitches nicely towards you, making that second shot, if anything, a little easier.
Yeah, good swing and a good result, as that is safely into the fairway. Little bit of an awkward distance for this, his second. All right, that's a board, but a lot of green between ball and hole. A look here for birdie at 17.
And this is the putt pros practice for hours, slightly uphill and dead straight.
Disappointment there. He'll brush it in, and that'll be just a par. Well, here we are at the final hole here at Banff Springs, 578-yard par 5, and Frank, a chance to finish the round with a flourish.
If you're one of the fortunate to hit this fairway, it's very reachable, but well protected by bunkers, left, right, central bunkers as well. You really have to be aware of two things: the wind direction and exactly how far you can carry that tee shot if you want to find this fairway.
Wayward from the tee, and this one is headed for the rough, Frank. Has to be thrilled with that second shot here to the par 5, Frank. Got everything out of that.
Yeah, did well just to advance the ball so far down the fairway. And now a fairly straightforward third shot.
Birdie chance here. Very long putt, though.
Got to be a little careful if it gets away on him.
A little tentative there, and that'll come up short. Okay, safely in for his par at 18. And that's going to wind up being a 3-under, 68. So an entertaining round here in the Canadian Rockies. Frank, time to get out and get a hike in before dusk?
Yeah, time